You are in track 2 of this parallel sessions, which is on digitalization and innovation. So again, let me just introduce myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rocky Guzman. I'm the International Governance Legal and Policy Specialist of ADB Circular Economy team, and I'm honored to be the moderator for today's session, which is on digitalization and innovation. And this is also, I think, the last set of parallel sessions we have for today. So that's very exciting. The last one before we also move to the most important part, which is lunch, but also to the closing segments later this afternoon. So we're really looking forward to our discussion, and the topic will be on the application of digitalization and innovation in urban and rural development. A very important topic, very interesting as well. And this session will look at how circular economy principles can improve and enhance urban and rural development. And we have a set of fantastic panelists with us here that will cover issues at the local level, but as well as key sectoral issues in this space. So looking forward to our panel, but before that, let me just go through a few house rules. First, the Q&A segment later will be primarily done through our online platform. So if you can please scan the QR code and you can put all your questions, any of your questions later on for our panelists, please do so. And later you can also go to the website at ahaslides.com/track2. So that will be the link that will be used for Q&A. Now, for some rules of engagement, you all know this already. Everyone's present here. Keep your phones and other gadgets on silent, and engagement will be done through the online platform. As I've said, I hope you've had a good time networking during the coffee break, but we only have a half a day left after this, so make the most out of it during your lunch break. Go sit beside someone you don't know yet and make your connections here. We also have some opportunity in the afternoon, so please make sure to go out and introduce yourselves to other people that you might know. And it's important for us to have fun during this session and what's left of this forum for today. Other reminders, restrooms can be found outside, both sides, either sides, go either left or right, and coffee and snacks are available outside after this session, but please, no food and beverages allowed here inside the auditoriums. Other reminders, the ADB briefs are available outside, so please get a copy if you haven't yet. And the goodies, the freebies, notebooks, and plantable pencils with seeds of sage and other herbs are available outside. They're made from recycled plastic, so please get yours if you haven't already and plant them in your backyard today. So for social media, if you want to post, the hashtag for the event is hashtag ADB Advancing Circularity. And please don't forget to tag at ADB Environment on X, at ADB underscore HQ on Instagram, and at Asian Development over at LinkedIn. And please ensure that you have the consent of people you are taking the photos with before posting. And lastly, if you have not yet, please download the event app to access some online features for this conference. All right. Now, without further ado, let's go to the second track session on digitalization and innovation, breakthroughs in practice with a focus on rural and urban development. As I've said, we have three fantastic panelists with us today that will cover issues at the local level, but also some sectoral issues as well. And I'd like to now proceed to our first panelist. We'll start off our conversation. And our first panelist is Joanna May Norsho Ricafort. So Joanna is an experienced environmental planner with over 10 years of expertise in managing and accessing a wide range of environmental projects. She possesses a strong academic background, including a master's degree in management with a specialization in environmental planning from PCU Manila, complemented by a diploma in environmental science from UP Diliman and a bachelor's degree in environmental science from the Technological University of the Philippines. She specializes in environmental impact and risk assessments, as well as management of solid and hazardous waste. She's passionate about promoting sustainable development, ensuring compliance with environmental regulations, and contributing to initiatives that protect and preserve our environment. So please, may I call on Ms. Joanna Ricafort for the panel. Joanna, thank you very much, and you have the floor, please.
All right, thank you so much for that kind introduction, Attorney Raki. Again, good morning, everyone. I'll be presenting the best practices of the City of Manila when it comes to promoting circular economy. Let me just give you a brief background about the City of Manila. Manila is the capital of the Philippines, and it has 6 congressional districts, which is further subdivided into 100 zones and 896 barangays. That's right, we have 896 barangays. Actually, almost 50% of the total number of barangays in the whole National Capital Region is located in the City of Manila. Okay, in terms of population, we have registered a total of 1,846,513 based from PSA consensus in 2020, and we have a land area of 24.98 square kilometers. So with a high population and a very limited land area like this, Manila is considered as the most densely populated city, not only in the Philippines and Asia, but in the world. And we have registered a total of 0.938 kilogram per person per day per capita, and that is based from the result of our waste analysis and characterization study conducted last 2023. Okay, so let me show you the waste composition from the Manila Wax 2023. As you can see in the figure, nearly half or a total of 46.07% is categorized as organic or biodegradable waste. So these are mostly food scraps, garden waste, and other organic matter. Next is the recyclable waste, which comprise of 19.93%. So recyclable waste is consists of the paper, plastic, glass, and metals. So this is followed by the residual for disposal, and then residual with potential. So this waste, residual with potential, are the waste that cannot be composted or cannot be recycled, but has a potential for recovery through alternative technologies. So the least common type of waste in Manila is special waste. So that includes all the bulky, hazardous, and medical healthcare waste in the city of Manila. All right, so we have Linis Maynila program, which comprises our daily cleanup operation. So that is our mapping, sweeping, and flashing activities. So we have also dedicated teams meant to address the different water bodies in the city. We have the Stero Rangers, which are doing regular cleanup operations in the 31 esteros in Manila. Aside from the fact that we have the most number of barangays in NCR, we have also the most number of esteros and also the pumping stations. So we also have Baseco Beach Warriors and Manila Bay Team Mandaragat in charge of daily cleanup operations in our Manila Bay shoreline. Okay, so we're also heading the conduct of the International Coastal Cleanup. So last year, it was joined by 92 organizations, participated by 5,527 volunteers, and we have collected a total of 41 metric tons of waste just for that day alone. Imagine that. And we're not only doing cleanup activities during ICC, but we're also doing mini waste analysis and characterization study for us to find out what are the most common trash that we can collect when we do an ICC in our near the sea. So as you can see in Baseco Beach, the top most trash collected are other plastic bags, and in Baywalk, it is bottle cups or the lids of the PET bottles. Okay, so we're not only doing cleanup activities, we're also doing information, education, and communication IEC campaigns to raise awareness not only about ecological solid waste management act of 2000, but also of course to promote circular economy initiatives in barangay level, schools, and even in commercial establishments. So in 2024 alone, we have already conducted 1,251 IEC, participated by 11,724 participants. So mid-year this 2025, we have a total of 3,105 with a total participants of 3,220. Okay, so we're very proud to share that we have inaugurated our first ever city materials recovery facility in 2022. So this facility is located inside the Manila Zoological and Botanical Garden, if you have been there. And it has a land area of more or less 500 square meters. So this facility is designed to cater mixed waste from the neighboring barangays and communities, and for final sorting, segregation, and finally treatment and processing of biodegradable, recyclable, and the residual waste with potential, which are mostly plastic wrappers. Okay, so inside the MRF, we have a composting facility wherein we have two main composting equipment. So these are the bioreactor and biocomposter. So we're very grateful with our partnered national government agencies like DOST and DNRs, since they have donated this composting equipment to us. So there we have a curing area for our raw compost. And our final product using the two composting equipment is a soil conditioner. So soil conditioner or soil enhancer. So this is made from mostly biodegradable waste such as leftover food, spoiled vegetables and fruits from markets, dry leaves from the parks and sometimes schools, and even the manure from the herbivore mammals inside the Manila Zoo. So we're mixing this organic matter to turn this into soil conditioner. Okay, so for 2024 alone, we have already processed a total of 332,660 kilogram and was able to do an 194,664 kilogram of soil conditioner. Okay, so we also have recycling facility inside the CTMRF. So we have some equipments there like multi-purpose shredder, plastic shredder, and plastic melter. We also have plastic extruder and plastic molder. So these are donated by our NGO partners like UNDP and WWF Philippines. Okay, so using this equipment, this recycling equipment, we were able to come up with our recycled products such as eco bags made from woven plastic straws and tarpaulins, plastic coasters. As you can see, we have an elephant keychain that is the famous Mali from Manila Zoo. So in a way, that is our commemoration of the elephant in Manila Zoo. And we also have plant pots, keychains, and refrigerator magnets made from PET bottle cups and HDPE plastics. Okay, so we were also created plastic benches out from the plastic extruder and plastic molders, and we have donated this to our park. So these photos are from Arosoras Forest Park that is considered as the last lang of the city of Manila. So these are being used by the visitors of the park, and in a way to raise awareness about the recycling efforts of the city. So every time they see the plastic benches, we have a note in there that these are made from the recycled plastics. Okay, so actually the podium that we have used during our ICC last year was also made from recycled HDPE plastic and PET bottle lid cups. As you can see, that was our Mayor, Honorable Lacuna Pangan. Okay, so through the partnership with UNDP, by the accelerating nationally determined contributions through circular economy in cities or ACE project, we were able to have a mobile materials recovery facility equipped with a multi-purpose shredder and a glass pulverizer that processes recyclable waste. So since as I have mentioned, we are very densely populated. That's why we're having difficulty in establishing barangay materials recovery facility in every barangay. So this is one of our strategy in order to address that. So this mobile MRF caters to those barangays with no operational MRF or MRS. So other best practices inside the MRF is the operation of STP with 300,000 liters capacity per day. And of course, rainwater harvesting system, wherein we are using this for the cleaning of the facility and irrigation of some greening programs inside the zoo or nearby schools. Okay, so even before the passage of EPR in 2022, we are already doing this waste diversion programs with our private partners. So first is the Collect Kilo Kita para sa Walastik na Maynila. So in this program, we are collecting plastic sachets, single-use plastics like plastic wrappers, in exchange of monetized incentives. So every kilogram is being brought by accredited junk shops under this project by 3 pesos kilogram each, as long as it's clean, cut, and dry. So since the start of the program way back in October 2019, we have a total of 800 metric tons of flexible plastics that have been diverted. So imagine this huge amount going straight into the landfill or waterway. So this is really a great initiative under the City of Manila. Next is Alas Kalikasan Wrapper Redemption Program. So it has basically the same mechanics as with the Collect Kilo Kita para sa Walastik na Maynila. But the only difference is that instead of monetized incentives, we are giving Alaska milk, powdered milk, in exchange of the collected flexible plastic. So this not only promotes responsible disposal of plastics, but also promote nutrition at the grassroots level, especially in our slum areas like in Tondo. They are really very cooperative regarding this program since they really wanted the Alaska fortified powdered milk. So a total of 80,101 kilograms were collected since we started the project in 2021. Okay, so third is the Aling Tindera Waste to Cash program. So unlike the two other programs, under this project, we are collecting all types of plastics. So even the used tires, styrofoams are being brought by the Aling Tindera Waste Collection Point. So since we started, we have established already 14 to 15 container vans in the whole 6 districts of Manila. So this serves as collection points for the post-consumer plastic waste. And we have collected a total of 834,404 kilograms since the start of the project in 2021. Okay, last is the Tapon to Ipon project. This is in partnership with Coca-Cola Philippines. So we're collecting PET bottles regardless if it's clear or transparent. So every PET bottle are being accepted and these are being brought to the recycling facility of Coca-Cola in General Trias, Cavite for their RPET project. And in exchange of the PET bottles, we're giving away Coca-Cola products. So not necessary soft drinks, but sometimes we're giving away water and other Coca-Cola products in exchange of the collected flexible plastics. Okay, so we also partnered with DNR and the Eco Waste Coalition for simultaneous e-waste collection from our households. And after that project since 2023, we already contracted a hauler, which is a DNR accredited for the management and disposal of our household hazardous waste. So that includes the electronic waste as well. Okay, so we're also very thankful with UN Habitat. They supported us in drafting our very first city plan of action on marine litter or SIPOA ML. This is basically the localized version of the NPOA ML that we have in DNR. So this has been adopted by the Manila City Council last January 26, 2023. Okay, so we're also in partnership with WWF Philippines for Plastic Smart Cities project, which has started in 2021. So under this project, we were able to train 1,754 households on solid waste management, and we have distributed across 6 districts of Manila a total of 179 waste collection vehicle, and we have supported 7 solutions providers. So these photos shows the distribution of the segregated bins and sample of waste collection carts and vehicles being used by the barangays in collecting recyclables in every household collection point. So, okay, so we're also very grateful with ADB. We have conducted the handover ceremony for the Manila City Action Plan for Plastic Circularity here in ADB office last February 10, 2025. And under this roadmap for plastic circularity Manila City Action Plan, they have outlined the strategies and recommendations to reduce the plastic pollution and improve the current and existing waste management of the city. So they have 9 recommendations. So some of these recommendations are already low-hanging fruit since they are already in the pipeline, like the recommendation number 3, establishment of City Environment and Natural Resources Office under a newly formed Department of Manila City. So we're the only city in the National Capital Region that has no Sendro yet. But because of these recommendations and also findings of the Commission on Audit, we are already endorsing this to the Manila City Solid Waste Management Board and ultimately to the Manila City Council for finally approval of the ordinance. Okay, and we're also looking at recommendation number 9, conduct a pilot study on barangay clustering in Manila City for the establishment of additional MRFs as one of our priority projects by next year. As I said, we're really having trouble with our barangay compliance in establishing their own barangay MRF. So our strategy will be to cluster the barangay MRF. So in every zone, we will be trying to establish one clustered MRF per zone. So since we have 100 zones, at least we're trying to establish 100 clustered MRF, hopefully, with the same capacity, just like what I presented with our city MRF, with composting and recycling equipment, and also some solid waste management interventions to manage their recyclable, compostable, and residual waste with potential. So indeed, Manila City has done a significant strides in advancing circular economy, but I believe this journey is far from over. We still have a long way to go. But rest assured that the city government of Manila will continue its unwavering commitment and collaboration with the relevant stakeholders towards our common goal to achieve plastic circularity and sustainable development. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Great. Thank you very much. That was Joanna Ricafort from the City of Manila for a great presentation. The City of Manila has been a very important partner of ADB over the years in the formulation of the City of Manila Action Plan, but also in showcasing digital innovations and how it is in practice at the local level. So it's great that you showed, Joanna, really how you mainstream inclusivity in the process, but also showing the digital innovations that are actually happening now. And it'd be interesting, especially for those who are visiting, to maybe visit the City of Manila and to see it for itself, for yourself. You might want to visit the Manila Zoo, where you can also see the MRF, the Materials Recovery Facility over there. So that's very interesting, and I'm hoping to have more conversations later on how that plays out in the city. So again, thank you very much. And if you have any questions for Joanna, please don't forget to scan this QR code or put in the website, which is ahaslides.com/cetrack2. and we'll have an interesting discussion later on the Q&A segment. So again, thanks, Joanna, and we now proceed to our next panelist. Also a very interesting topic. We have Miss Tomoko Kato, or whom we fondly call Toko. She's the Senior Food Security and Nutrition Specialist of the ADB, with over a decade of experience mainstreaming nutrition into agriculture and rural development investments across Asia and the Pacific. Her work focuses on integrating nutrition into policies, programs, and financing mechanisms, ensuring that food systems deliver not only productivity, but also healthier diets and improved well being. Toko is a passionate advocate for social inclusion and education for all, believing that community driven development is key to creating lasting impact. She champions approaches that place vulnerable groups at the center of food systems transformation, empowering them as agents for change for healthier diets and resilient communities. Toko will be discussing circular economy approaches on nutrition sensitive approaches for circular economy. Toko, we're very pleased to have you. Thank you for being here, and please over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So still good morning, I think. Thank you for being here to begin with. I'm Toko Kato. As Ricky introduced me, I'm working here at ADB in the agricultural sector. And let me first thank my colleague, I don't think he's here, but James Baker, who is core organizer of this forum, for championing including nutrition agenda in this important forum. Probably many of you here and other places in this auditorium think like how nutrition relates to the circular economy, right? So I'm very thankful for him. And also, I would like to mention we have the Sector Director General, DG Cleo Kawawaki, and our Senior Director, Chanfan Chan, and Director Takeshi Ueda. They are really elevating nutrition in ADB at this moment, so I would like to thank to them. And today, I would like to show how circular economy approaches offer powerful and practical pathways to deliver nutrition outcomes as co-benefits without adding new layers of work. With small design shift, I call it tweaking, ADB can unlock greater impact across food security, livelihood, climate resilience, and health. So this presentation is about recognizing that nutrition isn't an extra. It is an opportunity to multiply our value of what we are doing already. So let me walk through to connect the dots: nutrition, circular economy, local livelihoods working together. Oh, sorry, okay. So food insecurity, I'm sure you've heard of that word, means people don't have regular access to enough, safe, and nutritious food. In Asian Pacific, over 480 million people are food insecure. We also face triple burden of malnutrition. I'm sure you've heard of undernutrition, call it stunting, who are too short for the age, and wasting, too thin for the height, and micronutrient deficiencies, which we call hidden hunger because we don't see, but we miss the essential nutrients like mineral and vitamin lacking. So those are the iron, zinc, vitamin A. And I'm sure you hear rising overweight and obesity, especially in cities we have been talking about. At the same time, we have the biodiversity loss and climate warming up. Our food system is major drive for all of these. And you might have heard back in 2019, Eat Lancet Commission said, food is the single strongest lever to optimize both human and planetary health. But right now, food systems are threatening both. So this is where nutrition and circular economy must come together. We can build the food system that nourishes people and regenerate planet. So why nutrition matters for ADB? Malnutrition is more than a health issue. Poor diets are the #1 global risk factor of disease. It's costing countries 2 to 3% of GDP annually. In Asian Pacific, in addition to this food insecurity, we have 1 in 2 children under 5 suffering from some sort of malnutrition. So this is where ADB comes with the role and commitments. Nutrition is being mainstreamed across sovereign and non-sovereign lending operations. And we use policy-based lending, we call it PBL, and technical assistance and analytics. So nutrition is not the standing alone sector, but it is a cross-cutting outcome touching climate, gender, human capital, and resilience. So let's look at this diagram. It shows the food system we talk about and also the ecosystem. It looks complex, but also it gives us the opportunity of our today's food system. For us to transform food system, we must activate 3 interconnected, powerful levers: circular economy, biodiversity, and nutrition. So circular economy, as you can see, it's the circle was the square, the orange in the middle. We have to close resource loops, reduce waste, and regenerate a natural system. So this is really the key circular economy principles. And we see biodiversity on the left. It is not just about forests or species. It is actually the diverse crops, local varieties, and resilient ecosystem that support better nutrition and livelihoods. Biodiversity is the foundation for both sustainable production and dietary diversity. And nutrition, where is that? Yes, that's the outcome at the bottom that ties it all together. So it brings the human capital lens, linking food system to health, learning, productivity, and equity. So healthy diets are the end goal, but also part of the loop through consumer behavior and food environment. And ADB is already doing a lot in this space, promoting regenerative agriculture, supporting small and medium enterprises and inclusive value chains, scaling school meals and local procurement linked, and investment in climate, health, food and access solutions. So this is not about the creating new avenue. It is about smart integration, linking what we have been doing to deliver more impact. So, urban and rural systems, which is the title of this session, let's look at how those two are connected. In rural areas, circular economy supports regenerative farming, local food enterprises, often led by women and youth, we want to empower, and small-scale backyard livestock, aquaculture in the pond for better diets. And in urban systems, circular economy means we've been talking about digitalization of food distribution platform. Yesterday, we in this room talked about a lot about digitalization and data, and cold chains and logistics to preserve nutrients, and telephone application that reduce food loss and connect surplus to the needed. So the real power here is the linkage at the bottom. The school meals that source from local farmers that would produce the better nutrition, less waste, and stronger local incomes, and connecting farmers' kitchens and children. So now circular economy is really the pathway for nutrition. Circular economy enables nutrition-sensitive food system by smarter resource use, especially water and energy, food loss reduction through community campaigns, better logistics by using the composting, and productive diverse landscape and better soil for better diets. I think Joanna also talked about the soil that directly links to the nutrients content of the food we grow. So these really help healthy food availability, affordability, and accessibility, especially for vulnerable groups. So C is not just cutting waste. It's actually build the community nutritionally and economically. Oops. Okay. So now let's look at some of the ADB investment. I have been here actually in ADB for 3 months, but I've been talking to the different project team leaders in the South Asia team, and I found some of the projects which have been already applying the circular economy in the system. So in Meghalaya state of the India, women's cooperative grow GI targeted organic crops linked to ecotourism. So this project regenerates forests, converts fallow land, and integrates payment for eco-service, creating high-value, low-waste local economies. In Maharashtra, in India again, we have this Maharashtra Agribusiness Network project. This designed to strengthen farmer-producer organization and value chain, reducing post-harvest loss while scaling horticulture production that is both climate smart and nutrition sensitive. In Nepal, we have this project called the Climate Resilient Landscape Project. This uses the agroforestry, watershed restoration, and value chain for non-timber forest products and indigenous crops, which have the high value, the nutrition value, to increase the diet diversity by closing loop system. And in Sri Lanka, this is actually a new pipeline project which has been discussed in the government in Sri Lanka, enhance resilience through upper watershed management. This is the also the incentive-based scheme supports regenerative agriculture and linking to the payment for eco-service, carbon credits, and value-added products which support the dietary diversity. So these already show how circular economy models are reducing food and resource waste, preserving nutrient quality, and generating income among the women vulnerable groups. So together, they really show what's possible when circular systems meet nutrition-sensitive investments. So now I just want to introduce what ADB has been committing around nutrition. So back in March this year, there was a Nutrition for Growth Summit in Paris, and we have committed those 4 things. First, scaling up the nutrition-sensitive investment across sectors where relevant. Second, we integrate nutrition into at least 3 country partnership strategy, which is a key document for ADB to discuss government what kind of project we want to develop. And we are already starting off discussion with the Pakistan, PNG, and the Pacific team. And number 3 is the tagging and tracking system we want to create. And I'm sure you've heard of what gets measured gets done. So we really want to see, not just the committing, but we want to see the actual nutrition sensitivity in our project. And fourth is mobilizing blended finance to support small and medium enterprises who are producing nutritious and climate-smart foods. So these aren't really standalone nutrition projects. We really want to enhancing the impact of what ADB has been already doing, applying nutrition lens to circular economy investments. Okay, so here's the core message of my presentation. When we combine circular economy and nutrition, we get 4 big wins. So first, stronger projects, climate smart, nutrition sensitive, and better aligned with community needs. Second, new financing. We aim to provide access to blended capital and nutrition aligned funds. Third, policy leadership. ADB can shape regional dialogues and lead on food system transformation with you all here. And the fourth, professional edge. Nutrition is now central to development finance, not just health topic. So really, I want to emphasize this is not just a theory, but it's real. It's about better diets for all of us and stronger community and livelihood and sustainable system which we want to create together. So let me leave you with 3 key messages with all the things written here. One is that nutrition is a multiplier. It amplifies value of climate, agriculture, and livelihood investment. Second, circular economy is a smart delivery model. As we said, just adding the nutrition lens, we can come up with the better outcomes. Third, ADB is committed through our Nutrition for Growth Summit pledges. We already scale up solutions together with my teams. They are sitting here to listen to me. We are really working together internally, also with the external partners. And we hope to stay connected with you so that we can make use of this circular economy approach to have the better nutrition together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was Toko Kato from the ADB, a very interesting presentation. I'm sure a lot of you have learned a thing or two on the context of circular economy applied to the food and nutrition systems. Just a note, I was just in the UN Ocean Conference last week, and what struck me is that alongside, sessions and booths on marine debris and plastics, there were quite a number of sessions being mainstreamed on food systems and blue food systems and making a circular approach also over these systems at the community level, like fisheries and aquaculture. So it's quite it's interesting to see how this is being mainstream now, and I think it's very important, especially as we need to address the issue of malnutrition, which is a very serious issue here in the region. So again, I'd like to thank Toko for taking us over the nexus of pollution, circular economy, nutrition, as well as local livelihoods. I think that's a very important point, and something that we can discuss further later on how this can be applied to our communities across the region here. So again, thank you very much, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions about that thought-provoking um, presentation. Again, please don't forget to put them on the ahaslides.com platform. It's not showing up, but the website is ahaslides.com slash CE-track2. And then we can also have and field your questions later in person here during the Q&A segment. So again, let's now proceed to our last panelist, and the last panelist for this set of parallel sessions throughout the forum. We have with us Miss Jamie Naval. Jamie is passionate about utilizing design to address textile waste while generating sustainable livelihood for women. She's the circularity manager of Anthill Fabric Gallery, a social and cultural enterprise dedicated to preserving Philippine weaving traditions and creating sustainable livelihoods through celebrating and elevating Filipino culture through contemporary and circular design. She's also the founder of and chief toy maker of 1020 Kids, an earth-loving and educational toy brand for kids from upcycled textiles with the help of their partner artisan nanais or mothers. Jamie graduated from the University of the Philippines with a degree in BS Clothing Technology and studied textile design from the University of the Arts London Central St. Martin's. Again, I'd like to welcome Ms. Jamie Naval. Thank you very much for being here, and you have the floor, Jamie.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Jamie. I'm the circularity manager of Anthill Fabrics. But a little background about me is that before being a circularity manager and chief toy maker of my sustainable enterprise, I was first a fashion and textile designer. So that's why I hate wasting fabrics. Because I know the amount of effort and labor that goes into planting, harvesting, spinning, and weaving these fabrics. There's so much story that is engraved in the fabrics that we use and we wear. But now I'm your circularity manager for Anthill, or your resident textile recycler. So Anthill stands for, bear with me, it's very long, Alternative Nest and Training or Trading Hub for Indigenous or Ingenious Little Livelihood Seekers. So short, right? So Anthill is a social and cultural enterprise dedicated to preserving weaving traditions in the Philippines. Basically, we celebrate and elevate Filipino culture through contemporary and circular design. Currently in the Philippines, we have partners from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and we have 750 artisans and 3,750 impacted lives and counting. So this includes weaving partners, partner communities, artisan communities, and direct partners who are our partner productions. So what sets Anthill apart is our Community Enterprise Development Program, where we guide these communities from transforming into local businesses. We provide for them training programs, access to market, and as well as fair trade prices. So in Anthill, we believe that every weave is like our second skin. It's passed on from one generation to the other. That's why we don't want to waste fabrics, because this is engraved in our culture. And since the beginning in 2010, and by the way, we're celebrating our 15th year right now, since the beginning in 2010, we have been collecting the textile scraps that we have been producing from our own production. And in 2016, we noticed that it has already accumulated. And this is such a big realization because we only have a very small production during that time. And imagine how much more waste does factories and fast fashion brands produce if they produce collections like every month or every week. In the Philippines alone, we are literally swimming in waste. So much waste that we are swimming in 427 Olympic-sized pools of textile waste every year. Do you like swimming in textile waste? Because I sure don't. And it's no wonder that the fashion industry is the second largest polluting industry in the world, as it contributes 92 million tons of textile waste every year. And with all the textiles that we produce, only 85% is discarded and only 1% is recycled. So imagine, where are those wastes going? And most of all, most of the fabrics that we have right now are made of plastics. 60% of all fabrics that are currently produced are made of polyester, acrylic, and nylon. So not only are we swimming in textile waste, but we are swimming in plastics literally. So for Anthill, sustainability is about responsible resource use. We wanted to ensure that our cultural traditions are here to stay, and as well as there are resources available for the next generation. Our solution is weaving out waste. In 2016, we explored on how to inculcate sustainability and circularity in our value chain with the leadership of Jessica Wanyo, who is a textile and apparel designer in Anthill. What we did with our textile scraps is we cut them into strips and weave them with the communities to produce new fabrics. So what we work here are post-industrial waste and post-consumer waste. So included in your post-industrial textile waste are your textile offcuts, or in Filipino, retazos, end of rolls, or the lost cuts of the rolls, dead stock fabrics, which is a lot because in fashion industry, you always have excess. We also deal with post-consumer textiles, which includes decommissioned uniforms or your old uniforms that you don't know where to put them, and also hotel towels and linens as well. So our process includes reclamation, sorting, cutting, delivery to the communities, and weaving these fabrics to go back to the market through market integration. So an example of this is our community call for fabrics last year. Last year, we had a call for fabrics from January to February, and in that span of 2 months, we were able to collect 2,000 kilos of fabrics, and most of this comes from Manila. And Anthill is based in Cebu, and our recycling center currently is in Cebu. So we had to ship all those fabrics going to Cebu. Imagine the footprint of that. What we did with this fabric, so there are boxes and as well as bags of fabrics, is that we reclaimed them and consolidated them together, sorted them according to kind, color, and size so that we know how to utilize them. And then these fabrics are also cut into strips. Very manual labor, right? But due to this process, we are able to provide livelihood to more people. And then we deliver these fabrics to our partner community in Argao, Cebu, which they themselves meticulously weave them into new fabrics. These fabrics are now these wonderful, colorful new fabrics of hope. So you can see in the first photo, there are evidences that it is made of textile scraps. And then on the second photo, there are smaller scrap fabrics where we utilize even the smallest scraps of fabric in order for it to breathe new life to them. And in the last photo, we use the hotel towels of Manila Hotel, which by the way, I'm also wearing. So aside from reintegrating those fabrics in the market, we also transform them into products that is more purposeful, such as cover-ups, the skirt that I'm wearing, tops, accessories, and even hotel pillows and other more. For Anthill, it's not just about creating beautiful products, but it's about creating positive impact. Currently, we have already 750 artisans, and we increased their average monthly income by 30%, and through our circular activities, we increased their income by 85%. And as of today, we have already diverted 24,000 kilos of fabrics. I just want to spotlight our partner, circular partner in Cebu who is weaving this fabric. So their name is Hablon ni Loriana in Argao, Cebu. And since we started, they only had 4 weavers. And because of the things that we've been doing with them, there are now 15 weavers. And we were also able to increase their average income by 275%. And now they have an average monthly income of 15,000 pesos. And that's in the province. We were able also to help them organize the community and have their own community savings account. And more than that, we were able to increase their business and as well as technical skills. So from the traditional model of take, make, and waste, which is the traditional linear model, Anthill's model is now more circular, wherein we extend the life of fabrics by reintegrating them in the process as a resource. We are not only weaving culture right now, but we're also weaving culture, circularity, and community. But it does not end there. We always believe that we should continue to innovate. So we have circular programs that are addressed throughout our supply chain. We have our zero waste programs, which includes weave exchange and reweave, wherein your well-loved anthill can be returned to anthill and we can resell it for an exchange of a gift card. We also do rework wherein rejects and also defects are transformed into new products such as this dress, which is converted into that skirt. And if you buy an anthill piece, you'll get a forever repair on it as long as anthill is still existing. And I hope that's forever. So part of Anthill's commitment to sustainability is recently we acquired Barrio, which is a sustainable manufacturing and recycling facility in Manila. So Barrio is now Antill's innovative circularity hub, and its goal is to champion circularity by diverting waste from the landfills, collaborating with businesses to equip them to become more sustainable, and lastly, to engage with the community to empower them and integrate them in the green economy, especially our local artisans and women. What we do in Barrio is we reclaim, recycle, and reimagine textile waste. In Reclaim, we divert textiles from the landfill through reintegration in the market, empowering communities in recycling, and as well as generating income with different stakeholders. So not only are we weaving waste, but we are also recycling even the smallest scraps into this new kind of fabric, which we call fabric scramble. We also recycle through our buyback program where we tackle textile waste one partnership at a time. An example of this is our current collaboration with Decathlon where we transform their tents into these pouches and as well with Atmosphere wherein we are part of their interiors through using our zero waste weaves. Lastly, we offer reimagining of textile waste to offering sustainable manufacturing. We co-create sustainable products and solutions for your eco-business needs. May it be uniforms, aprons, and even your giveaways and merchandise. We can do it for you. And soon, together with our partners, we are currently Maybank's EcoWeavers program implementation partner in the Philippines, and as well as with our partner in Shell and Quezon City local government, we are establishing our circularity hub, which is Barrio Hub, to reclaim and recycle fabrics together. Not only are we increasing our capacity to recycle, but we are also providing livelihoods, while also generating sustainable livelihood that protects our weaving culture. Together, let's weave towards circular industry to creating a tapestry of cultural preservation with sustainable practices. Thank you so much for weaving dreams with us. And if you want to buy from Anthill, you can shop at anthillmarkets.com as well as Anthill Fabrics for fabrics. And you can also know more about us at Anthill Fabrics. If you want to collaborate, you can collaborate at Jamie at anthillfabricsgallery.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I think that was a very interesting presentation. Garnered a lot of interest from our guests. Uh, I have had the privilege of wearing Anthill fabrics, and I'm looking forward to see the new products that you have in store for us. But I like what you said. We could be swimming in in textile waste, and and sometimes a lot of people overlook that textile waste is composed of a lot of plastics, and that contributes a lot to the issue of plastic pollution and marine debris and the plastics in the environment that we have right now. So it's good that we have initiatives like this to address that. And it's good that firms and businesses such as Anthill has circular managers. Who knows, we might have chief circularity officers later on that will focus really on ensuring circularity within the system. So again, thank you for sharing those circular programs of Anthill Fabric. I hope that's something that could be scaled up and give some ideas for businesses across the region. I like also what you said, in many things in life, forever is not possible, but forever can be possible in forever repair, right? So that's, I think, the core also of circular economy, to try to keep them in the loop, right? And to avoid resource wastage. And that's an important thing that a lot of businesses could take stock of. So again, thank you, Jamie, for that presentation. Again, for any questions to Jamie, please send them to this AHA Slides QR code or ahaslides.com/cetrack2. And this brings us to the important part of the session, a very interesting part, which is the quick chat with our panelists. Again, if you have not, please put your questions here, but I'll be happy to take any of your questions in person here. Just raise your hand and you can field your questions directly to our panelists. So at this point, may I please call our panelists to sit here in front? Jamie, Toko, and Joanna. Thank you again for those fantastic presentations. Now we can have a quick chat. We have a lot of questions here, a lot of interest from our audience. Let me start first to Joanna, who started off this panel. So you've taken us to a lot of the initiatives that the Manila City government has done in solid waste management. And a question here was wondering, like, what have you seen was the impact on behavioral change actually with this comprehensive solid waste management plan that you have been implementing? Have you seen any things that have changed at the behavioral change level, and any insights on that?
Yes, thank you, Thorny, for that question. Actually, since we've been doing IEC campaigns simultaneously in different barangays and also schools and establishments, through the waste diversion programs of the city government of Manila, just like what I have mentioned earlier, the Kolakilokita, Alas Kalikasan, we have observed that the community and the constituents are really inspired to segregate their waste. They are now more aware, environmentally consciously aware of the impacts of inefficient or improper solid waste management in their community. So through their through this waste diversion programs, they are inspired to segregate or enforce a strict segregation of waste at their household, and also support all the environmental programs of the city, just like what I have mentioned earlier.
Great. So you're really seeing the impact of this program on the ground at the household level. And eventually we can see that like that would create a big change at the local level. And that would implement the plans that you have, because Manila has so many plans already. Circularity plan, marine debris plan, you've mentioned so many things. So that would be good to monitor progress in that. Now let's go to the other things on food nutrition's Toko. You discuss the programs of ADB on SMEs, and participant here wanted to know more. And can you elaborate more on the example of how you're applying the circularity model into the SMEs for agriculture and whatever programs you have specifically for small and medium enterprises?
Thank you so much. This is a great question because we as ADB are currently trying to develop some scheme to support small and medium enterprises who are actually contributing to make our food environment better by producing nutrient rich crops or vegetables and fruits. So usually the small and medium enterprises have the difficulty to access credit, right? So our current efforts is we're going to this scheme to de-risk the credit risk so that they have the access. So we are really currently working together with the various NGOs to have the best the evidence and also the best scheme to develop. So soon to come, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you, Toko. So watch out for that. It's a great thing that you said they're helping their risk the investments, right? Because SMEs might not have access to traditional credit, access to financing, but ADB is helping enable that to happen for SMEs in particular. So again, thanks, Toko. And a question fielded to Jamie. So question is the changing mindsets among businesses is key to circular economy, and that has been established throughout the sessions, a recurring theme. So what might be your thoughts and insights on how businesses can be engaged with, especially coming from you, who has been very engaged in the circularity aspect and leading the initiative for circularity in your business? So what might be the game changer for businesses to be more integrated into the circularity space? So any insights on that?
I think we should look into circularity not just an expense, but as an opportunity also to expand our business and to meet the demands of our consumers. So consumers nowadays, they are more proactive in advocating for the environment and as well as sustainability. And we have to look at that as a opportunity in terms of business.
So at least we have to put it in the bottom line, right? We have to look at the business. We have to talk in business terms as well. And I think that's been established, like our private sector representatives here. So it's good that we have this conversation among private sector, businesses, and how others can be engaged with you, and you can engage with the others as well, especially civil society and the public. So great point, Jamie. We have a number of questions also. So maybe I'll get back to you, Joanna. So you mentioned a number of things on your interventions for the city of Manila, a lot of them focusing on the downstream measures, recycling, recovery, diversion. And we have a number of laws in the Philippines that would require local governments to have more of upstream solutions. maybe reuse or maybe segregation, all these things. So can you tell us more if you're doing some of these things as well to complement the things that you're doing downstream on recycling and recovery?
Yes, actually, we're working now with our consolidation of our environmental code. So we have to strengthen the institutional capacity of our department, the Department of Public Services, in enforcing our existing environmental related ordinances and policies. And also, as to the city level initiatives, we're currently working out with a, ne- a second city MRF, maybe probably located somewhere in districts 4, 5, 6. So we're looking at that, and we're looking for other alternative solid waste management technology like waste to energy as well. We're already talking with a private proponent for this. And they are already in the process of ECC application for their proposed waste to energy. So we will be the host LGU for that project, and hopefully it will address also the compliance of the city to the DNR's required waste diversion rate of at least 50%.
So great. There are so many initiatives that the city of Manila is doing, really laudable initiatives, and but it's important also to implement this well, and you have like ordinances to make it into like local laws to ensure that it's enforceable and people really follow and people comply with this. So that's something that we would like to know more. Like once you have more stories to tell, once you're implementing that, we'd like to know more how that plays out as well. So again, thank you, Joanna. And then let me go back to you, Toko. You mentioned a number of things on the initiatives of ADB and projects supporting the reduction of post-harvest losses, for instance. So do you have any examples of how this is being implemented at the community level or at the local level? And what infrastructure, for instance, have you supported to ensure the circularity in this food system and ensuring nutrition within the community? So.
Thank you. So those projects are managed by my, colleagues. So I don't know exactly how they actually worked with the community level, but on the nutrition side, definitely what we are trying to do in our team is that how we can mainstream, such a nutrition-related, food-related educational messaging to the training to the farmers, training to the water user groups, training to the, all the, the policy level people, so that, all the message can be delivered with any kind of project. Because what we have been seeing is, we are surrounded by the food, and food system is around us. Although we try to work with the food system, actually we have to, like rules and regulations and all those policy has to be in place so that our food environment can be better. We try to also work with the schools and the children. So all those messaging, at the community level, policy level, all the levels can be really enforcing to make our food system and food environment better. So I don't know if it is the answer you
That's
wanted.
great, really, and it's really important to take this in consideration, especially if we're mainstreaming circularity and nutrition food systems and making it a very circular approach. And you have to reach out and engage all levels, right? Not just at the policy level, but also to the school level. Especially since schools and children are very important to ensure that they have nutritious meals every day. And that's an important consideration that we all have to think about as well. And messaging is very important. Thanks for that, Toko. And now to you, Jamie. A quick question and then one more serious question. So a question here. What do you do with other items like buttons, rivets, zippers? And maybe to continue that question, I'd like to know what you do for the reverse logistics on these buyback programs. Can you take us more on the process and how you do it, the practical way of doing it?
So for the first one, for the buttons and the notions such as zippers, we actually utilize them. We remove them from the clothes before we cut them because number one, it will be harder to cut the clothes with them. And number two, we can still use them and we do use them. So if you notice earlier, I showed the pouches from the Decathlon tents. So the zippers that we use there and even the white rope was from the tent itself. So we utilize even the zippers, the notions of the items. So in regards to the buyback program, what we look into is partnering with businesses, organizations that are really committed. When we say really committed, they don't just give us the stuff and then it's like we're a dump site, but we look for long-term partnerships. So what we do is we communicate well that we can only accept what we can transform for them. We cannot accept more than that because we're not a dump site. And we're actually recycling, and that's why we don't accept donations. It's not a donating system, it's a recycling system. So, for example, we created uniforms or jacket uniforms out of the commissioned uniforms. We first assess how much are they buying so that we can calculate as well how much we'll be needing for that. Because more than that, it's excess again, and we don't want excess. And from there, we create the uniforms, and they themselves are the ones who commissioned us to create those uniforms.
Looks like in application. And I think if you want to know more, just reach out to the circularity manager, Jamie of Anthill, and we'd love to know more about that also later. But we only have time for maybe one round of questions before we break. But let me go to you, Joanna. People have noticed, and it's quite evident that the city of Manila is very good at strategic partnerships. You've showcased it in private sector in the private sector through all these programs and initiatives, and also with like ADB and other international organizations as well. So, what advice would you give to other LGUs and other communities on how you've done it, and how what advice would you give them, like on how to make this strategic partnerships, how to put it in place?
Yeah, actually, we're already sharing with our co-LGUs in our Metro Manila Technical Working Group under the MMDA and also DNR. We're sharing all our best practices to them, and we're also sharing our contacts and networks with our current partners because we wanted all these best practices to be replicated, not only in the NCR but in our neighboring cities and municipalities. So we're advising them to maximize all the forums such as this, the circular economy forums, to maximize the networks and also look for partners and be cooperative as well to the needs of their partner, and of course the constant communication and collaboration, especially within the relevant boards or committees inside the city.
So great, you have a great resource here, knowing knowing what they know and what they have done in creating these partnerships. So please reach out to Joanna and other folks from the city of Manila here. Could learn a thing or two from their example. So great, thank you, Joanna. And maybe for you, Jamie, a question might be on the uptake of the market on these this line of clothes that you have. People are used to. I myself have a new uh, anthill coat. But what has been the reaction of the market with these recycled textiles that you have in the line?
So great question. So one of the reasons that we wanted to create the Circularity Hub is right now there is a lot of inquiries to Anthill to upcycle fabrics and also for upcycled fabrics. That is why the main reason that we are creating the Circularity Hub in Manila is because most of those inquiries are coming from Manila. And because of this, we are happy that there are more support, not only locally but as well as internationally, interest in what Anthill does. And of course, we also share this with our other social enterprises and businesses so that we can replicate it as well, not only in Anthill, Cebu, but also in different areas of the Philippines as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for that. And again, a great resource to have in this business model. So please reach out if you're interested. And to close off, I'd like to go to you, Toko, on food loss and waste. And what could you say would be like your insights at the policy level on how to prevent like all these things of food loss and optimize efficiency in the food system? So maybe just some thoughts on that. Food loss at the policy level or maybe at the community level, like any projects or any insights from the projects that you've seen?
Sure. Well, again, let me bring back to nutrition. I think I was talking to the expert, Sue, that if you want to have the actual circularity to nutrition, we look at this compost, no? And also biochar. How can we use those ways to make our soil better so that we can have the better crops, nutrient-rich crops. So it's really about how we can talk about, it could be just waste, but when we look at it, the waste, maybe we can use it in a better way. So healthy soil to healthy crops. So that's the message we want to be advocating.
Exactly.
Thank
That's
you.
great, Toko. Thank you for that. And very good interventions from all of you. A fantastic set of panelists. Let's give them all a round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Jamie, Joanna, and Toko for their interventions. And at this point, I think we'll have a photo with us here, but please stay put there. I'm gonna give some announcements before I release you for the most important part of the day, which is lunch, to get you over the last part this afternoon for closing of this very, very insightful, I hope, forum, the Circular Economy Forum here in ADB. So again, stay put. We'll just have a photo taken and I'll give some announcements. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you to the panelists. A big round of applause to everyone who has come here at this stage. And we are almost at the end of the Circular Economy Forum. Just a half day to go. And you'll have your opportunity to talk to some of your colleagues and to meet other people during the breaks and during this lunchtime. But at this point, I'd also like to plug this platform that we have, Connecting the Loop. So if you have not done so, please do. If you have needs and you can offer some resources, we have the platform and opportunity to do so. So please, during the lunch break and the coffee break later this afternoon, we invite you to fill up with post-it notes these boards at the sides for what you need and what you might offer in the context of circular economy. So this includes physical resources, like venues, intellectual resources, including data and research and learning materials, human resources you might want to volunteer, staff, students, as well as financial resources. So all of these, if you could put that in a post-it note in the easel and write what resource you might need, that will be very helpful for you as we try to match it with some of the resources that we are here actually in the forum and what we might offer as well. So use one post-it per idea. Example, I need technical expertise in circularity in the food systems, for instance, and put your LinkedIn or your social media handle and post it on the easels over there at the side of this room. On the second easel over there, put what resource you might be able to offer and write down again your contact information. For example, I can offer a room for workshops on circular economy trainings to learn more from the example of the city of Manila. You can put that there and put your social media handles and contact details as well. This will be very good as we will try our best to match your needs with some of the people who might be able to offer the resources for that. And we'll be back We'll get back to you to say if you're a match or not. So please do that if you want to over there at the easels on the side. And also, please don't forget, there are exhibitors outside over there in the corridor and up there in the front of the hall. And view them at the circular economy marketplace to show the practical terms. You can see it and you can feel it for yourself on how it looks like in practice. So please don't forget to do that if you have not yet. Lunch will be served at the podium in ADB, so you just go right from here and then left over there and then another right over there. And there will be signs that will guide you on the way to the venue for lunch. So again, see you at the closing plenary, which I think will be at 2 p.m. this afternoon. I know it's going to be an emotional closing for all of us. I hope it has been a very insightful and useful exercise and panels for all of you. But at this stage, please don't forget to put, is there an evaluation form for this panel? Is there? So I'll have to go back because this is a very important. Okay. back. Right here. The last thing that we want to ask from you, everyone, is we want to hear from you. So please take a few minutes to fill in this post-event evaluation form. Your feedback is very, very important for us to improve our event. So please don't forget to do that. And we'll really appreciate all your feedback. And we can keep this feedback loop continuing like the circular economy. So again, please don't forget to do that. And you can now go out and have lunch. So thank you very much for everyone. Bye-bye.